Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're going to take a stroll down Antique Lane. We were organizing the ammunition recently, and we stumbled across some of this old ammunition I've had for many years, and it's probably appeared in video several years ago, but we decided to dig it out. These are the last remnants of that ammunition that I have on hand, and try to put it to the test to see just how effective it is. We have semi-lethal and lethal loadings of this ammunition. Here I have one of the semi-lethal rounds disassembled. Keep in mind, the lethal and semi-lethal rounds are identical in construction, with the exception that the semi-lethal does not use a lead bullet. It uses a compressed material that's lighter than lead, and the lethal is the exact same bullet design, just with lead components, so it's heavier. So you have a case, powder charge, and then you have this interesting round here, this bullet that is in 3 different sections. You can see the crease on it. It's wrapped with this thin, very durable twine. It's not wire, it appears to be a fabric of some sort. And then on the base of the bullet, you can see 3 dots. And again, you can see the segments. So here is the semi-lethal and here is the lethal. You can tell the two apart by a slight color difference between the two, because this is actual lead and this is not. Now, we don't have much information on these because the MIBullet.com website has long since expired. It's no longer up, so the information is not available for us to take a look at. Our lab radar won't track these bullets because when they leave the barrel, the 3 segments break apart and they become like a bolo, and they start spinning. That twine that's holding the 3 pieces together starts spinning those 3 lead or semi or partially lead or powdered component structures in a circle. And so the lab radar won't pick it up and give us a velocity. So what we're going to do is fire this first, because basically the concept behind it is point and shoot. And that's what it says right on the top of the paperwork, is you don't have to use your sights at 7 yards or closer at, typical handgun fighting distances. All you have to do is point and shoot, and you're going to get a hit area roughly that big because of the 3 projectile pieces being held together by that piece of very durable twine. So we're going to see how this performs in terms of spread on a IPSC style target, and then we're going to move over to some watermelons and have even more fun with these rounds and see what they're capable of. With that being said, let's start our video off by shooting at some cardboard. We would like to thank our friends at Big Daddy Unlimited for helping to make this and other videos possible. If you'd like to help us out, swing by the BDU website, and just for 99 cents, you can try out their service for 1 month. And they're basically like the Sam's Club of the online world. So check them out. If you would like to stay a member, go by militaryarms.org. There's a big link right at the top of the website, and you can stay a member for 20% off every month going forward. So please check them out. Let's fire one of the less lethal rounds at the target, which is about 7 yards away, using the HK USP 45. You can tell the semi-lethal from the lethal not only by the coloration of the bullet itself, but also by the color of the I don't know, it's like a polymer material in the tip. The lethal will be red and the less than lethal will be orange. And this one has an orange tip to it. We're gonna see if we can capture this guy on slow motion or not. All right, here we go. So the round, I was aiming right here, hit here. So you can see the 3 different pieces of the bullet. You have a core that I believe it's still tied to. And I aimed here and it kind of hit off to the left-hand side. So how lethal that is, I don't know, because again, we can't get velocity and we don't have the website to get a claimed velocity off the website from, and it's not on the packaging. We also saw something hit right here, not sure what. Very interesting results. Now, we first filmed this at 480 frames a second. We're going to bump that up to 960 frames a second and see if we can capture that bullet in flight to see what it's actually doing. All right, guys, here we go. We got our favorite target, a watermelon. We may actually finally destroy this table, because if this thing bolos just right, it might get wrapped around and hit this table, which we're kind of hoping for because we're trying to recover one of these rounds. So we're going to try the less lethal, and we're going to try to hit this watermelon. Based upon the 4 or 5 rounds we fired so far, we have an area about this big where it should kind of sort of hit if I aim center of mass. So at this point, guys, it's all luck. Let's see what happens. All right, guys, here we go. Watermelon, 7 yards, a less lethal round, and HK USP 45. Let's see what we get. Well, you couldn't ask for a more perfect hit. Holy cow. All right, guys, so this is really interesting. We got like a perfect hit because you can see where the string crosses on the watermelon. We had one of the bullet fragments. You can see the string comes down here. It hit right here. We're pretty sure the string separated from the bullet fragments. Another one came around here, and you can see where the bullet fragment nicked the watermelon and where the string leads up to it, but then it separates. And then we had one bite in over here where you can see the string comes up, like it came around, whacked it, knocked part of the watermelon off. But in the slow-mo, it looks like the string took off. We're not sure if we're gonna be able to recover anything from inside here. Well, I'll tell you right now, we're not. Because those are all superficial wounds. That just barely cut into the rind there. It didn't go through at all. The string didn't make any penetration. All right, guys, let's try one of the lethal rounds and see what kind of results we get at 7 yards on our watermelon. Let's hope we get another solid hit. I think we're starting to figure out why this round didn't really take off. Now, granted, watermelons aren't as big as people, but again, we scored a pretty center of mass hit on this watermelon. You can see where the lines go across the watermelon, but this time all the bullet fragments went completely around the watermelon. So if I was standing like this, the bullet fragments would go, the string would hit me, probably hurt a little bit, and then the bullet fragments would just go sailing right past me. They're not wrapping around and hitting the backside of the watermelon. It's not like, you know, the string hits and those rounds come back together and hit on the backside or anything. They're just going right on past the watermelon. The string looks like it's just breaking and those rounds are going off on their own merry way. There is no bolo effect once it actually makes contact with something solid. All right, I don't know. Let's try stacking some watermelons and see what type of success we meet with there. First of all, we'd like to thank Gorilla Tape for making an amazing product. We use it for all sorts of stuff, including our watermelon triangle pyramid thing. So what we have here, guys, is 3 watermelons that have not been punctured. This one has a mark on it, but again, none of the 3 pieces actually broke into this watermelon. So for all intents and purposes, that's a brand new one. On the back, to fill the gap here in the middle, we have one of the earlier ones where the one side was torn out right here where my index finger, that's on the bottom. So we're trying to actually capture one of these rounds as best as we possibly can. And here's to trying. So we're gonna fire a lethal round into this and see what we get. We're trying to dissect one of the bullets. This is one of the less lethal rounds. And we pulled the little, you know, it's kind of a rubbery substance cap off the nose of the bullet. Inside you can see the string that's coiled up that holds the segments together. So inside you have a big, really cavernous hollow point, if you will, with the string coiled up inside. This had to be a nightmare to manufacture, to be honest with you. And it doesn't seem to be anything special in terms of string. Matter of fact, there's a knot at the center, so you can see the 3 pieces of string and then just a knot in the center. Not sure how to get these sections apart. I thought that was string on the outside holding it together, but it's probably not. It's probably some other material that's holding these 3 sections together. And this is how I hurt myself. There we go. And I didn't hurt myself. We recovered a bullet. We just had to take one apart. There you guys go. There is no core to the center. It truly separates into 3 equal pieces. And that is how that little round works. All right, guys, here we go. The pyramid of watermelons versus an MI Bullets lethal round. Let's see what we get. Okay, I'll take that. Definitely far better results with the larger target. The tape, I was aiming at the tape, which was right down the middle of the target, and you can see the round actually went through and a nice clean cut of the tape. One of the fragments hit here, left a pretty interesting wound. I mean, that would be, and again, this was from one of the lethal rounds, that would appear to be lethal. I wouldn't want to get hit with it. It made it all the way through, so it entered and exited this watermelon. This one has survived 2 now attempts on its life. We have this one, which clearly took one of the rounds, and I think more than likely exited. That's 2 that took solid hits. And then this one just kind of rolled off the table and broke some more. This is one that had already had that damage done to it. So 2 of these watermelons took one of those BOLA rounds, and it definitely looks like we are not going to recover any bullet fragments or even string at this point. That string disappears pretty quickly. All right. Made some mush in there, guys. Yeah, it exited. Definitely some hydrostatic shock going on there. So if you can actually hit the bad guy with one of the BOLA rounds, it'll do some damage. It's the if. How big is the bad guy? And how are they standing towards you? Anyway, interesting results nonetheless. We still haven't captured a bullet. Since I was a kid, I mispronounced these as BOLA rounds. And I did it again in this video. They're BOLA rounds, B-O-L-A. Not BOLO, B-O-L-O, BOLA. So I caught myself while we were filming, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm being stupid again. So I caught it before we got to the end of the video, and I caught it in editing and couldn't do anything about it. But you know what? These things are goofy and don't even warrant a meat target test. So we're going to take the BOLA rounds, throw that to the side, take the 45 HK USP, throw that aside. Going to whip out the FK BRNO PSD pistol, which is brand new and just now shipping, which fires the 7.5 FK or 10 millimeter. The 7.5 FK is a bottleneck cartridge of incredible power and speed. This is the pistol that shoots it. It's brand new to the US market. We will be doing a video on it here soon, but the watermelon downrange has survived 2 attempts on its life with the BOLA rounds. That ain't gonna happen this time with the 7.5 FK. Here we go. Yeah. We had 2 watermelons down there, and I just made a mess. It's not really surprising that the 7.5 FK did that much damage to that front watermelon, which had eluded destruction this entire video. So that thing completely blew up. Not surprising, but we also had a backup watermelon behind it, and you can see where after it completely vaporized that first watermelon, that round continued on and came out the backside of the watermelon. That's a powerful handgun round. Now, these BOLA rounds, typical gimmicky type of bullet that's no longer on the market, probably because people figured out pretty quickly that it was expensive and really didn't deliver much in the way of terminal ballistics. Guys, if you'd like to continue to see videos like this, please consider becoming part of our Patreon family. There's a link down below in the video description. Click that link and check out some of the perks over on Patreon. And again, consider supporting us because we've been demonetized by YouTube like so many other channels. Also, right here on YouTube, underneath the video player you're watching right now, there's a little join button. Click that join button and consider supporting us right here on YouTube. And last but not least, guys, please swing by and check out coppercustom.com. Thank you for 12 years of support. We'll talk to you guys soon.